This is DDL147.
I hear bodies.
So where were we?
Good start.
Yeah, the last show, if you're wondering where the recording is from your podcast machine, you'll be surprised that anything's even turned up. The last show that we did, which was 145, was a Star Wars Battlefront, and I think that went straight to YouTube.
Good Lord.
We didn't actually do a recording for that one.
That was a long time ago.
There was no show. So every time we drag the system out and start again. Technology has changed, and we've given up on Skype because the idea of trying to get Skype to work between the two of us just doesn't work, and we thought it'd be much easier and give you a much better quality recording if we brought Lance down here. For no other reason. It's just, if we're going to record podcasts. So yes, for the... if it's not the first time, it's certainly one of the handful of times we've ever done this.
The only one I can remember is probably about our third episode. We did one in your bedroom when the Queen had just launched her YouTube page.
Really? Listening back to some of those, I wouldn't have even known that we were in the same room on that one because the quality wasn't that great.
No. But again, I think that was probably more down to the technology of both of us recording onto a single computer.
Okay.
Wasn't really there then. Bearing in mind that was probably 10 years ago? Yeah. Now we've got microphones that are capable of picking us up, and it's a USB microphone. It's nice and easy. When we did that in your bedroom, we both had headset mics on.
Right. So it was two separate sound sources, even though we were in the same room.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We are back. Hello.
For this episode, making no promises whatsoever.
As always, we never make promises, but we consider this a new season. It might be a one-episode season. Have you noticed that? I was watching Black Mirror. Have you watched any of Black Mirror?
I haven't seen Bandersnatch yet, actually.
You've watched the other.
I've watched the first 2 or 3 seasons.
I think because, excuse me, the guys around here seem to have some sort of a fixation with removing the baffles from their mopeds. So that wasn't a case of bad wind. That's just a scooter going past. The various. This will give you something to edit out. The various series of Black Mirror have all been 6 episodes each.
Yes.
Which is the standard...
UK?
Yeah, standard UK is to only have the 6 episodes. But this last one was only 3.
Oh, really?
But it had some bigger names in the production, so I wonder whether it was 3 because... Budgets, and possibly 3 because they were trying to push it out to the US. Because it's got some US big names in it.
But they did that in the last season as well, didn't they? Because they had Ron Howard's daughter. What's her name? She was in Lost World.
Don't know. Oh, yes.
With the Facebook likes.
That's a point.
What you could get into or out of based on your popularity.
I don't
name's
know
completely gone.
Yeah, I wouldn't know her name if you told me.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. Nope. See?
Nope. Still don't know.
Look at my face.
Doesn't
matter. So yeah, and again, the same as it's done with all the other series, they actually tie in technologies and concepts with other episodes. So they're not all individual episodes. They all tell individual stories that you don't have to watch all of them to understand. But if you watch all of them, then you see certain reoccurring things, certain technologies and companies.
So they've all got like similar phones, or the interface on the phones is the same, or
less subtle than that. The company that makes one particular type of technology would have been a feature in a previous episode.
Like a newspaper article or something
well,
like
the
that.
the VR stuff that's in one of these episodes has also appeared in previous episodes.
Right.
And the company that develops it was also it. And so it's all tied together. The thing is, it can be a little triggery because some of the concepts in these programs can be a little close to home. And yes, they tend to go to extremes with them, but there's always a point to make. Like like you're saying, that the Facebook one with the likes, where everybody must have likes.
You can only get a mortgage for that house if you've got that level of followers on your.
And somebody was saying, was it you that was saying there are actually places like that now where you've got a certain amount of celebrity before you can even.
No.
Before you can look at getting a property in this location, you need a certain amount of celebrity. It's like,
no,
wouldn't want to live there.
No, it wasn't me.
And every season that we do these podcasts, there's certain themes that keep coming up again and again and again. And walking is one of them.
Yes.
So we're both still walking.
Up and down many flights of stairs.
But last weekend we walked from your house down to mine, pretty much, which was a 7...
Nearly 8. It was 8 point something, actually, so it was nearly 9.
A mile walk along the River Wey. And the nice thing about walking along the rivers is... Oh, come on, you said it while I was there. There's no hills. The rivers don't tend to go up and down.
Yes, yeah.
Now, what we're intending to do, is sort of in bits and pieces, is to walk. We must have mentioned it on a previous podcast about walking the Thames.
We did.
Yeah. Well, now that we are living within a sensible distance, then we can do a lot more sort of practice runs at that. And part of the practice run is walking the River Wey. So, as far as I can tell, you can't go much further south than Godalming because it starts to branch out and it goes through private land and there's no towpaths anymore.
Right.
So the next one I want to do is to walk from Godalming to Guildford.
Which is...
it's only about 4 or 5 miles.
Oh, that's okay.
So that one's an easier one.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do from Guildford to Woking, and then from Woking to Weybridge, which is where the River Wey joins the Thames.
Right.
But doing that in 3 separate weekends.
Yeah.
We have no interest in trying to do it all in one long weekend. We would be
dead.
And from that, getting an idea of how many miles per hour or how many miles per day we walk, and using that to then measure and to plan out our walk along the Thames.
I think we worked out that we did a rough average of about 3 miles an hour on the walk we did on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which, bearing in mind, my back hurt.
Did it hurt during the walk, though?
It didn't hurt, but it was stiff, and I was being careful.
Yeah.
We probably could have gone a bit faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just being a little bit careful.
And also there wasn't much. We didn't stop very much on that. That was quite a consistent walk. And I think in part that was because of your back. You were like, if we stop,
I was stiffing up. Yeah, just keep going. I think we only stopped for about that 5-10 minutes in the
where the compass
walkway thing.
Yeah,
just had a drink and a sit down there.
Yeah.
But that was about the only time we really stopped. We stopped to take the odd photo, didn't we? But nothing.
Yeah. And once we get an idea of how fast or what's a comfortable walking speed, then we sort of plan out what a day's walk will be.
But see, your comfortable walking speed and my comfortable walking speed are 2 very different speeds, because you naturally walk a bit faster than me, don't you?
but you led last weekend, and I
was deliberately trying to walk faster than I normally do.
Yeah, and it makes it more of an exercise as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Supposedly. And depending on how we get set up with microphones and mobile setups, then we can do some recording on those walks as well.
Definitely.
Because certainly when walking along the Thames, there will be points of interest along there that'll be worth discussing and recording.
So when I left home, I bought my first house, and then that didn't work out, so I went back home. I then moved from home to a flat in Irthingborough, and then moved from there to Nottingham. From Nottingham, I came back down to Irthingborough, and I lived in a pub for 9 months. Crappy little room above a pub. Then I moved out of that pub into a flat in Rushdom.
For those of you that can't see the fingers, we're now up to 6.
6. Then I moved from Rushdom to moved in with a friend in Wellingborough. Then from Wellingborough, we both moved into his brother's house in Kettering. I then went from Kettering to back to Irthingborough with another friend. I then moved out of out of that house, and moved in with my sister. From my sister's, I went into a flat in Wellingborough, that's 11, and now I'm down here, that's 12, since 1998.
Good grief.
I think it was 98. Yeah, about 98. So in 21 years, I've moved 12 times.
Good grief. And you've not really got the whole moving thing down.
Oh, I think I have. Most of the boxes aren't mine now. It's not my stuff that's waiting to be moved in.
Waiting to be moved in? What?
Sorry, waiting to be unpacked.
Okay. No, unpacked. Have there been many boxes that were packed when you left home and just followed you still?
For this move, no, because I got rid of those. No. But there have been many boxes that have just moved around all the various houses and never been unpacked. And when I was moving it down this way, because it was a distance, and I wanted to do it all in one go, I went through all of my boxes and went no, and got rid of. I think I must have got rid of, no exaggeration, about 40% of the stuff.
Yeah.
Just went in the bin.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is just stuff, isn't it? It's so difficult
really
to realise this, but it's just stuff.
And that still doesn't include all the CDs and DVDs that I've got that have come down with me that are probably never going to be played again, or not even digitised, or they're probably just going to sit in the display case that they're in now.
Because you've already got access to them via
most
Spotify
of them are on Netflix. I don't need them. I mean, there are some. There's some Blu-ray trilogies and stuff that aren't available on Netflix or Amazon without buying them again.
Or even if they are, they don't necessarily have the bonus features.
No, exactly that.
Or they might be a director's cut that isn't available. And so it's. I can understand having the little box sets. I've got a couple of box sets myself, but then the old physical media is really kind of dying out. Talking about the physical media, I was talking at work with my boss today about the console and where that's heading.
Games
consoles, right. It was last month that Google announced their streaming game service.
Yes, I think so.
In that you no longer have a console that's sat under your telly that you put so beyond taking away the physical disc now, the whole idea of having a games console disappears.
So how does that work?
Streams.
But so to what?
You have a box,
but it's not a console.
It's a Chromecast. There's no power in it at all other than its ability to stream. So if it's something that's able to stream YouTube, then that's going to be the same.
So all the processing is done at the other end? All of the
processing is done at the other end. And then you're fed the output of that in the same way as you're fed a movie.
So how does that work from a latency point of view?
This is where Google, because in the States at least they are promoting their own broadband, they are promoting their low latency, they're promoting and they claim to have all these algorithms where you won't notice. Now, I think the likes of you and I probably won't. But it's those sort of people who don't use a standard PlayStation controller because they can buy one that's more sensitive, and
they'll notice.
Yeah.
So Arabeth noticed the latency on Fortnite on my PlayStation, which was wirelessly connected to the internet with the router all the way down the hallway of our flat building. She noticed the latency on that, and I didn't.
Yeah.
She noticed the lag.
Yeah. With that kind of latency, though, that's going to be slightly different because everybody that you're playing against is playing off of the same server farm in Google.
So it should be the same for everybody?
So all that you're sending a tiny little controller information backwards and forwards. You're not sending your location and what you've just fired and all of that information to Google. So you've got the equivalent of all these PlayStations, for lack of a better word, talking to each other within Google's data center.
Right.
And then it's only the video that's being sent to you, and you're only sending the control information back to them. So it's a different kind of model to deal with, rather than you having to send, or rather than the PlayStation having to send its character information and your clothing information, all that, into the server that then consolidates it all and then spits it out again. You're just sending your movements in, and you're getting video out.
So will it have they announced any games for it or anything?
So what I've heard is that they've got input from a lot of the big companies.
Right, okay.
But the classic issue, why have you bought a PlayStation? You've probably bought a PlayStation because of a particular game that was on the PlayStation but not the Xbox.
No, I bought a PlayStation because I've always had a PlayStation. I've never owned an Xbox.
See, I've stuck with the PlayStation because of the Gran Turismo. But I also know people that have stuck with the Xbox because of Halo.
Yeah.
And if both games were available on both, you'd be hard pressed, really, to pick one.
Toss a coin.
So Microsoft now are giving you effectively an Xbox as an app. So if you have a high quality gaming PC, you can start to run Xbox games.
Okay.
And then the step on from that would be, again, Microsoft are also talking about a streaming service where you would just need a connection into their environment and then you run their app. So I suspect that the next generation of smart TV, they will have, because a smart TV nowadays can handle 4K images, they can handle 1080p images.
No problem.
A doddle.
Yeah.
And so for that to then become and handle a games controller is not a big step.
But didn't Steam try it?
But Steam haven't got the backing of Microsoft, of Google,
yeah.
of Sony, of the big companies. Steam.
They're not that big, are they? Keep forgetting
comparatively.
That Google are.
Yeah. I mean, Google
digital overlords. Everywhere.
Google have got the ability to try this for a while, and if it doesn't work out, they'll drop it. And that's what most people are sort of like. Yeah, I don't particularly want to invest.
How much is it?
Oh, I don't know. This is all still,
because that's a lot of money for Google to suddenly decide this isn't working.
But this is pay to play service. So you would be a rental. So you would subscriber service.
So it's like Netflix for gaming?
Yeah.
Right.
Which, again, I kind of like the idea that I pay a subscription for Spotify.
Yeah. If
I don't pay the subscription, then I
lose your
I get the free version.
Yeah.
But as soon as I start paying again, it all comes back again.
Yeah.
So it frees up your shelves.
Yeah.
You've not actually lost anything. And so the idea with the games, rather than having shelves and shelves of games and controllers and having to worry about updating your console every couple of years,
yes.
As the game technology improves, then the systems will be improved at the server end.
I mean, with the PlayStation, how many games have you got that are physical discs against how many have you got that are just downloads?
See, I've got the Plus
Yeah.
service, which gives
So you get the
2 or 3
games a month. Yeah.
and I go in every month and at least order them so they're part
so
of
they're
my
in your
library.
library. You can have them whenever you want them.
And there's a lot of really crappy little games on there, but I've probably got 3 or 4 times more downloadable games, but they are downloadable. So therefore, if I wanted to play one of them, I would have to say, okay, download, and then come back tomorrow and play it. Come on, how long is it going to take you to download a 3 or 4 gigabyte?
About 10 minutes. Yeah,
but that's still 10 minutes.
It's ridiculous. I did an 8 gig update for Fortnite, and it took about 4 or 5 minutes.
But if it gets to the point where you turn on your television, you turn on your controller, you go to play Fortnite and it plays, despite the fact you haven't played it for a month, because the updates are done on the server end instantly.
Yeah. But then also mine is set so whenever the PlayStation's on, it's updating anyway. So the chances of me wanting to play a game that hasn't updated is
it's not so much fairly. It's because you've not got all your games on your.
No, I haven't.
PS4
because I haven't got a big enough hard drive. But yeah, like you say, yes, you could just literally just start playing any game that's in your library as soon as you want to, and it's up to date
with your. Because we've already started sort of doing this, whereby when you come over to mine, you've got a log on my PlayStation. Yeah. Potentially with a streaming service, you come over to mine, you log on with your ID, and you've got access instantly
to
all of your games and all your save points and so forth.
Yeah.
Although you've sort of got that at the moment, you would have to download those games and install them.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think it would depend on how many A-rated games it has. If it's just there for that sort of indie developers use it as a platform, then you'll find the odd gem, but not. It wouldn't be your main source of entertainment. But if the latest Tomb Raider comes out on it, or Elite is on there,
it's going to. The thing is, it's kind of like Chromecast or Fire Stick. They both do the same thing.
And why do I need either when I've got the PlayStation?
Or why do you need either when your smart TV does both?
It's got it anyway, yeah.
And so will it end up being that way with these subscriptions, whereby will you need a Google memory stick that does their subscription, or will it be apps, or will it be... because if it all becomes... just you buy a smart TV that runs all of the services and comes with a controller, what's going to differentiate between the systems other than licensing of
that game or
that game,
which is back to where we were with the PlayStation and the Xbox. Do you want Gran Turismo or do you want Halo?
Yeah. So we still have an awful lot to cover from what we've been up to in the brief space between recordings. But that will be for another time. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.